protect your roof with weatherproof.
Now, your forecast first from the WDHN First Alert Storm Team, brought to you by Sunset Memorial Park.
What a perfect way to start off the work week with some actual early fall-like temperatures around here. Made it up into the mid-80s today, sitting down in the 60s right now, 66 here in Dothan, and we're going to drop even further than that. Clear skies overhead at this point. Frontal boundary passed through earlier this weekend. High pressure is moving in and taking its place, and we're going to be feeling high and dry and looking fantastic here for quite some time. I'll tell you all about it. It's WDHN News at 10 starts now.
A man lost his home in a blazing fire. Now the homeowner is speaking out what he says turned the fire into a disaster: faulty fire hydrants. The case of two Wiregrass brothers accused of killing one of their wives, a few steps closer to coming to the end. What the defense had to say and what people are saying is a lot of circumstantial evidence. Tonight, tased over music. Shocking video of high school band director getting tased at a football game is causing outrage. What caused the Friday night ruckus? And after withdrawing from ERIC, a voter database, Alabama officials are unveiling a new system that they believe will prevent voter fraud.
Live for the Wiregrass, this is WDHN News at 10.
And good evening, I'm Mike Gerspan. Thanks for joining us, the late edition. Well, a story only on WDHN tonight. The town of Malvern and its volunteer fire department responding to the questions and concerns of a homeowner who lost his house in a fire due to a lightning strike in July. James Tyson questioned the town's fire protection after the hydrant 2,000 feet away from him was locked and there was no key. The hydrant was locked due to a homeowner previously stealing water to fill up their pool. Fire department has 3 sets of keys. The assistant fire chief on the scene had some keys on him, but due to the extent of the fire, it was not his first thought to use the key. With the home being deemed a total loss when first responders arrived, they had to cut the lock, which could cause a delay, but in this case, it was the best thing to do.
He was busy trying to let the other responding departments know, paint a picture for them, explaining what they had going on as far as how much of the house is actually on fire. But if the key was left in the truck, then that'd be more time. They'd have to run back to the truck, grab the key, and then go.
And Tyson says he was also told a fire hydrant would be placed at the halfway point of the road due to the new development that has been taking place in that immediate area over the last year and a half, but the town refused to do it. Town officials say they never had discussions about putting another hydrant in the area of his home. The fire hydrant has also been unlocked since the emergency. A case that was expected to last 2 weeks is nearing its end in Montgomery as the defense teams wrap up 2 Wiregrass brothers preparing their closing arguments. Darren and Jason Starr are accused of plotting to kill Jason's wife, Sarah Starr, in November 2017. Authorities say as payment, Darren received around $3,000 and a motorcycle. However, the brothers' defense says that the money Darren received was just a favor between brothers and nothing else. WDHN's Aaron Dixon with the latest testimony.
Today, Jason and Darren's legal teams rested their case. 2 brothers accused of plotting to kill and killing Jason's ex-wife, Sarah Starr, nearly 6 years ago. This will be a case of circumstantial evidence. As the morning of November 27th of 2017, no physical evidence was found that directly links Darren or Jason to the murder. But prosecutors hope the jury ask themselves the question of who else would have killed Sarah Starr, a beloved Enterprise school teacher. A case where Jason paid his brother nearly $3,000, which Darren used to buy and repair a bike. A brother who one witness said lived off the grid in a trailer in Texas, who didn't need a lot to get by. The jury heard from the previous owner of the bike today, who talked about how it got damaged in a wreck, where he later gifted the bike to a woman who the jury heard from last Thursday, because the repairs would cost nearly $5,000. A bike that was later sold to Darren, and a bike that Darren later got into working condition to drive from Alabama to Texas. Darren's team says it was to hang out with his family for the Thanksgiving holiday, while prosecutors believe he drove to Alabama to kill Sarah, who was found dead on her driveway from 2 gunshot wounds from a shotgun. Text messages displayed to the jury last week show a conversation between Jason and Darren, where Darren messaged and said that he was in a deer stand but didn't see the deer. Later in the message saying he got the wrong number and was texting the wrong person, but later messages saying, "Love you, brother, haha." One testimony today showed a jury that if Darren was in a deer stand, then there is no possible way that he could have seen Sarah's home because the two are nearly 2 miles apart, and the trees block the view. Both Jason and Darren had the chance to take the stand to testify, but they chose not to do so, which is their right. The jury will return to the box at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, where they will hear closing arguments from both sides and a case where a verdict could be reached by the end of the day. We're in downtown Montgomery. Aaron Dixon, WDHN News for the Wiregrass.
And tonight, a Skipperville man is in the Dale County Jail after being arrested on sex crime charges. Deputies arrested Wang Bidok when they got word that Bidok allegedly raped a juvenile. A search warrant was conducted at his home and they took him in for an interview. After the interview, Bidok was arrested and charged with rape. And a Pike County woman is behind bars after being accused of shooting a man in the head. Deputies arrested Lisa Tolan. When they did a welfare check, when they entered the home, they found the victim, Randy Thorne, dead from a headshot wound. After an investigation into Thorne's death, they identified Tolan as the murder suspect and then arrested her. Tonight, a Troy woman is behind bars after police say she assaulted an elderly person. Police arrested Brianna Coward-Brickett when they got a call from Troy Health and Rehab about an assault. When authorities arrived, they got word that an employee assaulted on a resident. That employee was Coward-Brickett. She's been arrested and charged with elder abuse as well as neglect. Tonight, outrage is coming out over newly released video of a high school band teacher being tased by police at a football game. And we must warn you, some of this footage may be disturbing to some viewers. This is video released by Minor High School's band director Johnny Mims' attorney Gwendolyn Gavan. Birmingham police say that the two bands were playing after the game near Birmingham when officers asked them to stop so they could clear the stadium. Police say Mims refused to stop playing and was subdued with a stun gun after a confrontation happened with police as well as Birmingham City School security. Gavan says they're calling for the officers involved to be placed on leave. They plan to pursue legal action against the Birmingham Police Department. Today, Enterprise celebrated becoming the next Southeast Alabama city to roll out mass transit. The first of 4 transit vans, each one with a $90,000 price tag, was dedicated this morning in Enterprise. The federal government pays 80% of the cost. The city will have a 20% local match. A recently retired director of the Pensacola-Escambia County Mass Transit System in Florida, who just happens to be an Enterprise native, will oversee the program in his hometown.
It's open to the general public. Anyone can ride, and we don't prioritize rides based on your destination or your trip purpose.
Now, the vans will